Hello and welcome to How to Deal When the Shit Gets Real podcast. I'm Marietta.
And I'm Connie. And today we're here with Stubs. It's his nickname, guys. I swear that somebody somebody wasn't like, yeah, you're Stubby. Could you imagine? How did that nickname come about, actually?
You don't want to know about that.
Okay,
That's
yeah. That's a
R-rated.
TMI. Okay, well,
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll just go into how do you deal when shit gets real. You could just tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Stefan. Everyone calls me Stubs. I live in Homewood, Illinois. I recently just went back to work building trails and jumps for bike parks.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
my husband would love doing that.
Yeah, mainly one in Chicago right now called the Big Marsh. It's really fun. So actually, they started like 7-8 years ago, and I went there. I used to go there all the time when they first opened, and then I totally just disappeared with everything and just started going back there again, and it's super cool. So
what got you started in BMX and biking and just like the love of it in general?
I was always in the bikes. Like I didn't get my license until I was like 20. I just always rode everywhere, and then plus all my friends were older, so I didn't need a license,
Like it?
Yeah, but like nobody rode around here. Like it was a skateboarding town, Homewood, Chicago Heights, Flossmoor. It's really skateboarding, and I sucked at that. So I kind of, at the time, like in the area, like punk rock was a big deal. So I started playing in a band. So I kind of focused more on music and forgot about bikes for a while because I don't know. And then I got back into it, like I was like 23, just to kind of get me out of trouble and stay focused. So I started like.
Did it work?
Yeah. I haven't been in trouble since. Yeah, I'm 21. I got my DUI, and that was the last time I got in trouble.
Good job.
So, yeah.
That's
wood, yeah. I got in trouble a lot as a kid, but that was the last time.
Why do I not remember that? Maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
Oh, well, dude, I didn't even like really go to high school. Like I dropped out of high school twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I mean, still to this day, people think I was there. I'm like, no, guys, I was gone. I was already doing something else.
Now that I think about it, you really weren't in high school. Because
No.
there was only two Steffans, so it was really easy to know if one of you wasn't there.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, and that was a huge another story when all that went down too.
Yeah.
I got phone calls like thinking that because he was a good friend of mine too.
Oh man. That's rough.
But
Yeah. Just for general context, the other Stefan that we went to high school with did unfortunately pass away, so that was where the confusion came in.
Oh my goodness!
It's already nuts.
You're like, no, I'm here. I'm alive.
Yeah, I was sleeping.
What's
my
going
phone's
on?
blowing up. I'm like, shit. What did I do last night? 'Cause I knew I was hammered doing something stupid the night before. Yeah, so I don't know. So I just stayed with bikes, and I don't know. When I turned like 29, I blew out my knee, and just had to get out of Illinois. So I just kind of like after I had knee surgery, like a year later, I just took off with my dog and drove around the country and just worked at bike shops, just rode wherever I could. Ended up in Portland for a while.
You made it far, all the way to Portland.
Yeah, well, I went to Texas first. And hung out in Texas with my cousin for like a real quick bit. And then, I ended up in Portland. My brother lives up there. So I was up there for a while and then ran out of money. And then.
Yeah, the West Coast will do that to you.
Back. Yeah.
The West Coast will do that to you for sure.
Well, it's no matter where I go, I seem to always come back to Illinois. This is like the fourth time it's happened. So.
I guess it's telling you aren't allowed to leave.
Yeah, I know. So then I bought a house. So,
Good for you, though. I mean, you went from having nothing to buying a house. I mean, that says something about the kind of person you are.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, we got the house dirt cheap or whatever, but it's weird. I never had like a home. No matter where I stayed, it was never a home, So, yeah, that's cool.
And now you've made your own home.
Yeah, I can put posters wherever I want.
There you go. Nobody can tell you it's not a cool poster because it's your fucking house.
No, wherever the wife allows me, I should say. So
I saw you got married. When did you get married? How did you and your
yeah.
wife meet?
So I met my wife like right when I moved back from Portland. Like I was living in remember the Romans?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
yeah. So like
Hmm.
that's like my second family. You know,
Oh,
that's who I
that's
lived
nice.
with that's who I lived with during high school actually.
Oh, okay. I
Um
didn't know that.
yeah. And then I lived with them during high school and then, whatever. And then I actually lived with them when I moved back from Portland when I was 33 or whatever, because they're awesome people. And I was just looking for a job anywhere. I didn't know if I was coming or going. I was living in a tent in their backyard or whatever. So I
Oh my
just
gosh.
applied for this bike shop job in Orland. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, she was my boss. Yeah.
Oh.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
So, like right when I came home or whatever, I'm like, stir, I'm gonna be in trouble. So then, yeah. And then like, whatever, like we started hosting like mountain bike nights, like out in Palos at that bike park. And like, I don't
Hmm.
know, we just got to know each other better. And the next thing you know, we're
Married.
dating. Yeah. And then, I got sick like shortly after that.
So what
And,
was the official diagnosis of that?
yeah, so this is nuts. So
We're ready.
yeah, this
Mm-hmm.
is just insane. And I don't remember everything, which is kind of cool and kind of bad. Like my wife still has to fill me in on a lot of like whoever people do, like doctors have to remind me. Like,
Wow.
so yeah, I mean, that's why like my speech is kind of like messed up too. It's all crazy, yeah.
Well,
But
yeah, when you also talked about concussions too. So, I mean, that all plays a factor into that.
so that's what we thought it was. So like, I all remember I've always had stomach problems. It's always been an issue for me, even as a kid. I quit eating meat when I was 15 years old.
Okay.
And it
Okay.
made me feel a lot better. I lost a bet to my buddy Fat Boy. He bet I couldn't do it for a month for like a 12-pack of Ice House or something like that. And whatever, yeah.
Oh, I love
And
it.
then, yeah, and then I know I just felt better, so I just stuck with it through all these years. But so like every year my birthday for I don't know how many years, I go downtown, usually by myself because I'm like the only vegan that I knew at the time. And just like hop around, bar hop or whatever, and go to all the vegan spots and just eat and get fat and get drunk.
Sounds
Well,
delicious.
yes, it was great. Well, and I usually go by myself. Well, when I turned 33, my now wife went, my buddy Stir went, whatever, had a great time. And I was working at a bike shop downtown. And when I was working there the next day, I hit my head and I fell to a knee. And, I kind of just like blacked out for a second, thought nothing of it. And then like 20 minutes later, just started throwing up. And I'm
Uh-oh.
like, shit. And I'm like, wow, man, okay, this is my hangover finally coming, or whatever. And then I'm like, no, it's still my birthday weekend. We're going to continue this. So next to where I worked was like
Uh-oh.
another vegan joint. So I got a bunch of vegan food, went home, started celebrating still my birthday, whatever's on a weekend, and just got violently sick again.
Oh,
So I'm like, fuck.
no.
I'm like, fuck, it's the food then. This ain't a hangover. And then it was like on and off like that for weeks. And then my weight just like started dropping. And I'm not a big guy, I'm like 6 feet, 6'1" on a good day, like 165 pounds. I'm not a big dude. Weight just started slowly declining. So like after like 2 months of just me and this, and then the pain started kicking in.
You had to be
And
like a skeleton by then.
oh, it got pretty close, but it was the pain that was so, and I never cried so much in my life as a grown man. The
Oh,
pain was
man.
so intense. Like they compare it to like pregnancy, like times 3. It just feels like someone's just beating the shit out of your insides, and there's
Ugh.
nothing you could do. Finally went to these hospitals. They said, oh, it's this, it's that. Put me on pills for one thing. That was wrong. Messed me up more. Put me on pills for another thing. Whatever. Still wrong shit.
It sounds like the hospitals.
Oh,
Exactly.
it's just making things worse. And then
I
finally, after like I don't know, like 6 months of this, finally see a doctor around here, and they kind of say like, "Oh, it's your pancreas is messed up, dude." I'm like, what's a pancreas? How can my pancreas be messed up? And they're like, "Well, the first signs of pancreatitis is drinking too much." I'm like, "Ah, shit."
You're like, that was
So
me.
yeah, I'm like, "Fuck, that really got me." And then I didn't know how serious it was. It's like life threatening, and I'm like, "Fuck, man, this is kind of scary." But they didn't know how to treat it out here in these small Illinois Cook County hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to get me transferred up to these big ones, and then COVID hit. And
Of course.
nobody gave a shit about me.
Ugh.
I was on the back burner. And I mean, I get it, but it sucks for me.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're in pain. Who wants to spend any extra moment in fucking pain?
Yeah, it was miserable, and it sucked. Between that and then like the Black Lives Matter movement happening, it was just fucking chaos. And everyone's hurting each other, so all these hospitals are packed. And like I said, COVID's going on, so no one gave a shit about me.
Ugh.
So I sat in these hospital beds for 2 years. Like I didn't text anybody. I didn't do like any social media. Like
That's horrible.
I didn't want anybody to know because I didn't know what was going on with me. Because my family would text. My aunts. I'm really close with my aunts, and they would text me like every day, and I get frustrated. Like I don't know what's going on. Can't eat anything. I'm getting so sick. This pain is intense. So the whole time while I'm in the hospital, just sitting there, I'm just getting doped up on morphine, fentanyl, whatever they have. They're just doping me up because they don't know how to deal with me.
That's insane.
So finally, like I'm not eating. I'm down to 97 pounds.
Yikes.
They stick a feeding tube in me. So
Oh
now I
my
got a
God.
feeding tube in me. Now all
So
food
instead of really treating the problem, they're like, oh,
yeah.
here's a feeding tube.
And then on top,
Jesus.
all right, so on top of me sitting in these beds, like not doing anything, I developed cysts and
Of
blood
course.
clots.
Yeah.
So now they really don't know what to do with me. So then they send me home. They just sent me home all doped up and stuff like that. And they pretty much told myself and my wife for me to start making arrangements. This is it, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, holy shit, for real?
So they don't treat you. They won't figure it
There's
out. They
nothing to
send you
do.
home, and
Send
then
me
they
home.
tell you you're gonna die. What the fuck?
Exactly. Go to another hospital, and like I said, because everything was going on, it wasn't the nicest hospital, but it was a hospital. They wouldn't treat me at all. They wouldn't give me food from my feeding tube.
So then how did you get treatment?
I didn't. I sat in the hospital for 1 week until I broke out.
Oh my gosh.
I had to break out of that hospital. And
That's insanity.
they did like 3 tests on me, and I still to this day never got the results on these tests that they supposedly did. No, I took the shit out of me and left because it was miserable.
Well, yeah, of course. You're a young man. I mean,
well, yeah, I was 33 at the time, and
Yeah.
all they keep saying is, "Oh, your pancreas is messed up. Oh, you drank too much, blah, blah." I'm like, dude, no, I know a lot of people that drink a lot more than I have, and they're not in my situation,
Right.
So after finally, like the third time of someone telling us, like, "Hey, you're screwed," make arrangements. My wife's like, no, we ain't having this. So she got me into the University of Wisconsin in Madison.
Good for your wife.
Yeah, and like I said, this is like right when we
Love
knew
it.
each other. We barely even knew each other this much.
Wow.
She's
That's
taking
even
care
more
of me.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, without her, I'd be gone. Like, I don't have a mom or dad or anything like that. And my wife, she's first generation. So all she has is her parents and her grandma, and they're straight from Poland. So she doesn't have a big family, So
Gotcha.
she's
Okay.
taking care of me, like what? Also, every doctor appointment was up there. So we're traveling, 6 hours, 3 hours there, 3 hours back.
Yeah.
In
To get
that
treatment.
hospital, they took me as far as they could take me. They did not know how to get to the bad part of my pancreas because of the cyst and the blood clots being all entangled. So they're
Okay.
pretty much washed their hands of me also. Yeah, they didn't know what to do. So they sent me home. And they sent me home. I was like on liquid morphine, all this crazy stuff, all messed up.
Oh my gosh.
How did you not end up addicted to any of these drugs? Honestly amazing.
I've never taken pills and I don't like them. Like I blew up my knee, never took them. You know, I don't like them because I have addictive personality. You know, I know what they do with people, you know, but for my stomach, it was the only thing to calm it. It was ridiculous.
Oh no, I'm sure. It's just really shocking that like after you were fixed, you didn't stay addicted, because that's how you hear all these things happening where you get on the pill and then you just keep on going even after you're better.
We're slowly getting me off them still.
Oh really?
Okay.
Oh, because they were that high?
Because these doctors, since they didn't know what to do with me, they're giving me the highest doses possible.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, like, you know, a normal person, if, you know, a broken leg in a hospital gets like 2 milligrams of morphine, they're pumping me at 8 milligrams.
Oh, yeah. Holy cow. That's a lot.
So my tolerance is crazy. And then, like, we'll get to it when I get there. But I mean, I was on ketamine.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, it's like a horse tranquilizer.
Yep.
Yeah. Crazy. So, anyway, so Wisconsin sends me home. You know, don't know what's going on. You know, I still have the feeding tube in me, this and that. I'm going fucking nuts because I'm bed rest. I weigh 97 pounds. I can have nothing by mouth. I can't drink water. I can't do anything. You know,
that's insanity. Wow.
Dude, all I have is pills. Take this, take this. I mean, I got red flagged from the pharmacy like 3 times just because.
Oh my God.
Because my doctors were just like, take this. You know, we don't know what's wrong with you. I'm just like, dude, this is insane. So I was walking down the street and there's a lady who does shit with dogs or whatever. I was playing with the dogs. One of the dogs jumped on me and ripped out my feeding tube.
Oh, geez. Because, you know, you didn't have enough going on.
Yeah, exactly. So they rushed me to these Illinois hospitals who want nothing to do with me anymore. These Illinois hospitals around me, all they do is shoot me up with morphine. And then they call my wife in 3 hours and tell her to pick me up. Sometimes they won't even call my wife. They just like, you're free, and let me walk home. Like, Jesus. All morphined out. Dude, it was so messed up. And this is all during COVID, you know, like, and what I heard was like they were bringing up nurses that weren't supposed to be there because of, you know, the pandemic was so crazy. They, you know, but whatever, man. They shouldn't have brought certain people up. Certain people weren't ready to.
Yeah, they weren't ready. Yeah.
No, exactly. It doesn't. Yeah, they just weren't ready. So anyway, so these hospitals didn't know what to do, so they made me take a ambulance from here all the way up to Wisconsin.
Jesus.
So Wisconsin could fix me, and in the ambulance they're doping me up. So as I get to Wisconsin, you know, they see what's going on. They put me under the anesthesia. My body couldn't take it. I flatlined.
Yikes.
That's where I OD'd.
Yeah. Okay.
So here I am in Wisconsin.
So the doctors literally made you OD. Wow.
The doctors OD'd me, yeah.
Wow.
Doctor, yes, yeah.
If that doesn't have lawsuit written all over it, I don't know what the fuck does.
Right? And here it is. Here I am in Madison, Wisconsin, which is a great hospital.
Not often you hear that.
No.
But I'm in Wisconsin during COVID. Nobody's allowed to visit me. You know what I mean?
Not even your wife?
Nobody was allowed there. Oh, she wasn't even my wife at the time. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then they pulled me to the side and explained to me how I died and stuff like this. I'm like, are you kidding?
Oh, thanks. Thank you for that.
Talk to, you know. So I'm like, shit. I mean, I broke down and everything, you know, because that's crazy. You know, I wasn't expecting
that is crazy.
You know, and I had no idea. I woke up, you know, of course, I'm all loopy because of the gas. They're like, no, dude, you died. You flatlined. We had to bring you back to life. I'm like, wow. So, you know, whatever. So stay there for a couple months. And then the same thing. They're just like, dude, we do not know how to fix you. And the whole time, you know, we're running out of money. You know, my insurance dropped me this Illinois disability is terrible.
Yep.
Like don't get sick in Illinois. It's terrible. So finally, luckily, I got into Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minneapolis, like the best hospital in the world,
Thank God, Jesus.
Yeah, so finally, after 3 years of me being in hospitals, and like I said, nobody knew about this. I wasn't texting anybody or telling anybody my problems because everybody had their own going on. So it was like a shock when people saw me like all skinny or whatever, sickly. Yeah, I mean, I have people that was doing like crack, when I'd be out of the hospital because I was 97 pounds, nothing. It was gross.
Yeah, when you made your post on Instagram, I was like, holy shit, this dude has been through some shit.
So then, Mayo Clinic is awesome. It's like a Mall of America, but hospital.
Yeah.
You don't have to leave there unless you want to smoke a cigarette. Like you can buy booze in there, you can buy food in there. It's like awesome. And then all your doctor's appointments for however long is there.
There you go.
So you just got to get and there's hotels connected to it. It's so cool.
It's everything you need. I like it. One-stop shopping.
Yeah, it's super cool. Dog friendly, because that was another thing. Like, who's gonna take care of my dog during all? And my dog got sick during all this too.
Of course.
Because there's a thing called pet anxiety. My dog's never been without me, and now he has months without me. So he got super sick. So here's my wife is taking care of my dog who's almost died. Yeah, so that's a whole nother story. But,
oh my gosh.
So finally got in the Mayo Clinic, and they did the CAT scans and X-rays, and by that time I've had so many of those MRIs and CAT scans. Like they're worried like I'm gonna get damage because of all the radiations. How many I had? I mean, because it was just nonstop MRI, like because nobody had a different opinion on how to fix me, and nobody could do it, or chose not to do it,
or chose not. I was gonna say, or chose not to. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
and it kind of sounds like chose just because of the COVID thing. They're like, my hands are full. We have COVID over here.
Exactly. I waited in beds for weeks for like Northwestern or something to open, and nothing would open up for me because of COVID was overtaking everything,
Oh my gosh.
So it just sucked. I'm not saying that these hospitals would have fixed me anyways, but I probably would have been fixed faster,
yeah, for sure.
Because this is not something this is something you're going to read about in textbooks, this crazy.
Okay. So I'm guessing Mayo finally gave you the diagnosis.
Yeah. So when you get a doctor, you get like a whole team all over the country, and they talk about your situation. So what it came down to is they think that, like I mentioned before, I always had stomach problems. I grew up in an era with jackass, just doing stupid shit, jumping off trees, houses, just, BMX and just hurting myself, and I played football, and they think I just hit myself wrong.
Okay.
And then on top of the drinking, that didn't help, but drinking was not the main cause. They just think that I just,
it's just too much abuse.
Yeah. And I never went to the doctor as a kid, and like I said, and what your pancreas does, like it breaks down fatties. And, if I was not a vegan, they told me that I probably would have been dead because my body cannot handle fats.
Okay.
Whatsoever.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so me being on my vegan diet came in my favor.
Well, there you go.
Here's the thing. So, all right, so like, okay, we could fix you, blah, blah, come in for surgery. I'm like, all right, cool, dope. Went in for surgery, thought nothing of it, scared shitless, don't get me wrong.
Of course, it's surgery. It doesn't matter if it's going to save you or not. It's still surgery.
Yeah, and it's St. Patrick's Day last year.
Of course it is.
I remember it because I am now 38 months sober. I had to quit drinking.
Well, congrats to you. That's quite an accomplishment.
38 months. It's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Good thing I didn't bring my whiskey in here tonight because I almost did.
No, it's cool. The wife still drinks wine and shit like that. It's fine. I'm over that period. But yeah, so I went in for my surgery and like I woke up and I had a beard. I'm like, what is going on? I got tubes sticking out of me. I'm freaking out. I'm like, what is going on? Turns out during surgery, when they're cutting off the bad part of my pancreas, it was so damaged that it just turned to dust and I just bled out internally.
Whoa.
Holy crap.
And they had a pump
Turned
like
to dust? I just can't even imagine.
Yeah,
Cannot fathom.
Just yeah, and they had to pump 6 liters of blood out of me. And they
Oh my
just
gosh.
automatically I just was fighting everybody. They just put me in a coma. They said,
Wow.
Medically induced coma.
So did they give you a new pancreas? So
what they did now is they cut, since all that happened, they had to do a procedure called the Whipple cell, which is they cut off my pancreas. It was the head that was damaged. It kind of looks like a fish. They had to cut off the head. And then but they had to, since all that shit happened, they had, I'm all Frankenstein inside now. They had to my small intestine is attached to that now, and I'm all it's crazy. That's my life, because I forget.
It's all kind of interconnected or something. They connected it all.
It's I mean,
so you do
I
still
had
have a pancreas. Just smaller?
Smaller,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't have sometimes when your pancreas gets damaged, you get diabetes.
Okay.
Good on that. That's a big factor. But,
really?
Yeah, big factor. But so finally after 4 months of sitting in that hospital, I finally got out. I remember this, the nurses laughing. I'm like, what's going on? And oh, you don't know? And I said, no, what's going on? It was a month after Will Smith slapped fucking Chris Rock.
Oh,
all that.
What a crazy time to wake up to.
And they're like, you gotta see this. And then they're showing me. And they're the best nurses ever. The best nurses I had.
Clearly.
I'm like, what? I missed this? They're like, boy, you missed a lot. So much happened. I'm like, damn, I was out for that long.
Oh man,
that's hilarious.
So it was nuts. And then
waking up with a beard would definitely be crazy.
I mean, and I went in there clean shaved, because
oh my gosh,
be clean for surgeries and shit. Yeah, and I woke up. I'm just like, fuck's going on, I can't grow a good beard anyways. I grow a Forrest Gump weird one, and it was just what, I don't like this. And I had 7 tubes coming out of me. So finally, after I had to learn how to walk again too, because my legs just turned to this.
Oh yeah. You have to build up that muscle again. So
I had to do that.
Rough.
So finally got out of the hospital, and I had those tubes in me for 3 months.
Wow.
And, and they.
What were they for?
To drain the rest of the blood out that they couldn't get from when they started internally bleeding. So it was
wow.
Picture it's this. Yeah, I have scars all over now. It looks like I got bullet holes. I have a bunch of my.
Hey, well, you know what? That would be a hilarious party story. Be like, yeah, man, I've been shot so many times.
I've been thinking about it. I've been waiting until I put on some more weight, though.
Stefan, people would believe you. People from high school would be like, yeah, that sounds like Stefan.
Oh, fucking that guy. We knew that was happening.
Oh, I can't.
No, yeah, so then, I finally got those out, and then I did 5 months of physical therapy. And
in-house, or did you go from your home to?
No, I luckily the physical therapy place is seriously a 2-minute drive from my house.
Did you go to that new Shirley Ryan that's on the corner of
no, I couldn't get into that. They were only accepting because that was the first place my pain specialist tried to get me into.
Okay.
And I couldn't get into. They're only accepting cancer patients at the time.
Okay.
And I'm going to Athletica or whatever, and
that's still a good company from what I know.
It was. I just didn't mesh well. But it was, it was cool. I mean, 5 months, I learned how to drive again. I mean, they did help me get some muscle back, and
What weight are you at now?
I've lost some weight because like some reason I decided I was ready to go start building trails in the 90-degree sun.
So from sweat loss, basically.
Yeah. So, I applied for the job as a joke, like not thinking, and then
they gave it to you, and then you're like,
they gave it to me, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll give you this too." I'm like, "For real?" Like, yeah. I'm like, "Oh shit, for real, I got a job. This is weird. I haven't had a job in 4 years. I'm like, oh god."
I still imagine though that you're over 97 pounds now.
Yes. So the last time I checked, I was 157.
That's a big change.
Almost back.
Yeah.
Almost back to normal.
Yeah. So my goal is 165, obviously.
Almost there.
My wife, she wants dad bod. She wants me to just
that's hilarious.
fat.
You can have some of my husband's dad bod. He's like, this is your fault. You got pregnant and you had all these cravings.
You just get, because dude, like right when I started gaining weight, it all went to my lower back. It just went. I'm like, what the hell is this? It was just like, I'm like, this is so weird. So then I had my wife chase me, grab my back fat. I'm like, nah, this ain't flying. Like, I need a hardcore job to sweat this off. Grabbing my back fat all day.
Oh my god, that's one of the best stories I've heard in a long time. I'm just picturing her chasing you around the kitchen, trying to pinch your back.
Yeah,
that's really funny.
Nuts like that. She's like I said, she's a crazy Polak, man.
I went to college with two girls that were I'm assuming very similar to your life. Both of her family was off the boat, Polish, spoke it fluently from, the area of Chicago. That's just all the Polish people. That's where they were from. Nicest girls I've ever met.
Oh yeah. I mean, she, lived in Poland, is a little one, and then grew up, in Chicago, and then ended up in Tinley Park. And that's where I met her, working at that shop in Orland. But yeah, when I go over to her house, her parents' house, there's no English.
I figured.
And with me being sick, I don't know why I didn't take time to learn to speak Polish. It would have been like the perfect.
Because you were in agonizing pain.
Well, yeah. that I was all doped up, and then I got addicted to 90 Day Fiance.
Oh yes,
you know that show,
yeah.
Oh my god,
I just can't imagine guys watching it.
I love that show, 90 Day Fiance.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Also, Polish not easy. So
no, I just talk into my phone now and just send it to her parents, and they love it.
Oh, there you go. Cute. Perfect.
Yeah, her parents are cool. But yeah, so yeah, it was a long road, and there was a bunch of other bullshit that happened in between. It just sucked, like for example, like this one hospital, they gave me a bunch of fentanyl, and they didn't tell me. So then,
yikes!
I got out of the house. I have it all on videotape too. They left me alone for like 6 hours with all the alarms buzzing, and no one ever came in. Fucking sucked. Well, anyways, so they shot me full of fentanyl, and then I had to go see my pain specialist at his new place, and I had to go take a pee test to get my new meds. Whatever, I peed, not thinking anything of it. I didn't know I had fentanyl in my system, So I pee in the cup, whatever, I get my meds. So then I go in for surgery. So then, I was in the hospital for 4 months, whatever. And, I was in a coma. And then, when you leave the hospital, they can only give you so much of a prescription. They usually can't give you the whole month. It only is like 5 days to a week or whatever, So like, okay, just contact, your pain specialist when you guys get home and comfortable, because, it's a 7-hour drive from here to Rochester, if it's not snowing, whatever. Anyways, so I finally got out of the hospital after my big surgery, after my coma or whatever, and get home, run out my pain meds, call my pain specialist at his new place. They deny me meds because I pissed fentanyl. because of the hospital giving it to me. And
And you're
since
like,
I
what
never
the fuck?
and since I never called them back while I was in a coma, there's nothing they could do and they can't help me.
What?
Wow.
Yes. And I'm on disability now at the time. You know how hard it is to find a pain specialist or any type of doctor on disability? It's miserable.
I bet.
So here
Good
I am
God.
just dying in pain. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was buying shit off the street. I can't believe I'm still alive. Some of the shit I shouldn't have took, you know what I mean? Yeah, it took me like 2 months to find a pain specialist that would take me.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
these hospitals messed up and couldn't communicate with each other.
Of course.
It was
I wish I could say I'm surprised.
insane. I got all
but I'm
these
not.
Yeah,
tubes on
definitely
me.
not.
Oh, it sucked. It was just little things like that that happened throughout the 2.5 years I was sitting in. Like the one hospital didn't know how to use the feeding tube, and they wouldn't get my medicine or my feedings. Like my wife had to come every day and drop off my food because they couldn't supply it. Just like stupid.
That's
shit like that.
insanity.
Yeah, and they didn't know how to use like the nozzle to pump in and out my fluids. It's like, you guys are doctors and nurses. You guys do not. Are you guys serious?
That makes no
It's
sense to me
madness.
whatsoever. Yeah,
That's
that's
because it's the
madness.
madness. It's the madness of COVID. Like he said, there
Yeah.
are people that were working that should not have been working.
Clearly.
Yeah, and common sense was out the window.
You're gonna have to tell me
So
later
much.
who these hospitals are because I am very intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah,
Are you going
Yeah.
to sue any of them?
I try to.
I've
work
heard
out.
malpractice is the worst.
So my wife and my aunts tried to again, and I don't remember so much of this. A lot of this is just
Mhm.
blanks. A lot of this is pictures that my wife finally have sent me. Like when I think I posted pictures on like Instagram like 2 months ago, like of like me in a coma, like the shit down my mouth, like that was just I just saw it for the first time myself. You know, like
Wow.
what? And still to this day, they're telling me things, reminding me of things. Like we
Well,
bought
yeah.
a house. You know, I bought a house right before I got sick. You know, and it was a fixer upper for sure. And it's just like little things like I don't remember even buying this fucking house. You know, I
Oh
don't
my
remember
God.
doing all this drywall. It was just all a drugged, painful blur.
I was
You
gonna
know,
say when you're on
very
drugs
bad.
like that and you're in pain like that, it's not uncommon for you to. It makes sense that you wouldn't remember everything.
Mhm.
Oh no, and then I'm not gonna lie, you know, and I couldn't drink. You know what I mean? Like I said, I was a big drinker, so it's just like, what do I do? I'm freaking out, and you know, I can't go to work. You know, what am I
Mhm.
gonna do? You know, because I was gonna go back to the union. You know, I was a union pipe fitter. I was gonna go back to doing that.
Oh,
You know?
like Danny.
Well, I was a union carpenter straight out of high school, and then I did that until the economy took a shit in like 2007.
Yep. I was gonna
And
say about
then-
2008.
Yeah. And then I couldn't find work whatsoever. So then I knew this girl. I was dating this girl, and her dad kind of liked me, and he worked for a company that made heavy machinery that welded railroad tracks together.
Oh,
So he
okay.
got me in there. So I worked there for like 9.5 years, and that's where I learned how to weld and stuff like that.
That's a good
Yeah.
thing to know.
A man of many trades.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, our cousin's husband is a pipe fitter.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, he always works.
He does.
Mhm.
They
He always
travel a
works.
lot though. They are
Yeah,
bouncing all over the place. My dad was
Yeah.
in the union, but he was local 150. He was an operating engineer.
okay. Yeah, see, I just, you know, as much as I want to, I just, you know, digging trails is one thing. But going back to like that, I did concrete.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
that's
going back to
a
that
lot of work.
lifestyle, and I'd have to start like at the bottom. Like
Yeah.
I'm 37 now. Like I'm not gonna have a little 18-year-old guy yelling at me. You know what I mean? I don't have the patience for that. And because physically, I know I'm not strong enough, which is even gonna make me even more mad. You
Oh,
know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
So, you know, I'm very, you know, I got this gig. My wife's very supportive. It's super cool.
Good for you, and
Yeah.
good for you
Yeah.
guys.
Are you still able to get the disability though? Because you're not like up to 100% like snuff or anything, and how much they've like put you through, 4.5 years.
But I mean, fighting to get disability, it was, it's pulling teeth. It's ridiculous. And I was
They
supposed
probably
to,
see your age and is immediately like, eh.
my age was one thing, my race was another thing. The reason why I was sick was another thing when it came to like that. And
Because there wasn't like a definite like, and this is why you got hurt.
well, that, and then they also saw alcohol-induced pancreas problem. So right away, these people just think, oh, this young punk just drank himself to death.
And that's not the case.
I feel it's nice to have a purpose again.
Definitely. So what advice would you give to others struggling with their health and trying to get a proper diagnosis?
Don't give up, first of all. There's so many times that I scream, just fucking kill me. Kill me, I mean, for real fast, there's another time, like, how messed up things were. Like, I got really dark for like a week and a half in the hospital. And I was like calling my wife. I was talking to my wife. I was texting her. I'm like, I'm about to hang myself in the bathroom. It's like, something's wrong with me. Something's fucking wrong with me. And it turns out that the doctor at the hospital is giving me antidepressants. And that's how I react.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, I went off because I lost friends in high school because they were on antidepressants and they hung themselves, unfortunately. I hate them. And yeah, so that was just another, again, messed up thing that happened throughout this thing.
Didn't even ask you?
Did not even ask me. That's what I'm saying. There's
Good
so many
Lord
times,
Almighty.
There were so many times, like, they rushed me from here to Wisconsin without telling anybody. Like, my wife would call the hospital. I'm like, no, he's not here. We brought him to Madison. And they're like, who brought him to Madison? They're like, oh, an ambulance. And they're like, for real? Like, who's paying that, first of all?
That is jacked up.
It's ridiculous. So, like, don't give up. Don't be ashamed. Another thing is being ashamed. It's like you think some people, you think disability. You think, I don't know. Sometimes you think not good people, in a sense. You see people abusing it all the time, this and that. But as much as it does suck, I mean, it's something. So don't be ashamed. If you got to wait in line, if you got to, the long phone calls, it's something if you're struggling, because I really, really struggled with this, still am, this is going to be an ongoing thing,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Glad you got the support.
It's basically like 4 years of trauma.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, if it wasn't for my wife, I mean, she's the one calling these hospitals, like, you're gonna fix them, you're gonna fix them, you're gonna fix them, like, nonstop.
Good for her.
She works at a bike shop in Homewood Goodspeed, and those guys, man, I mean,
okay.
Yeah, she works there.
Okay.
Yeah, those guys were amazing for like covering her how many times she'd have to drive me all the way up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice that they're understanding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was super cool. But because there was just, like I said, Madison's like 3.5 hours, and then I mean Rochester is 6 hours on a good day. I mean, one time it took us 14.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we got caught in a snowstorm,
Yeah, we were trying for the longest time to get my mother-in-law into the Mayo Clinic. I still think she needs to go, but it's neither here nor there.
It's amazing there. It really is.
There you go, Connie.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Oh well, I mean,
yeah, just can't give up though. I mean, but again, if
she's in Florida now, and I think there's one in like Jacksonville, but I think they've gotten her issue under control. She would lose like her hemoglobin and stuff. Like she would have blood loss, and they couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. And then she went down to Florida, and they were like, well, why are they giving you, what is it called? Blood thinners. And that's what was messing her up, was the blood thinners that the doctors in Illinois were giving her. So as far as I know,
goes back to Illinois, guys. All of it goes back to Illinois.
So as far as I know, she's better now. But for a while, because she was having so many issues, we were like, you need to go somewhere else. This is not working. Like, you need to go to Mayo Clinic, because as far as everybody else is concerned, it's a mystery.
Yeah.
Illinois is terrible. I go to
Illinois, where all the diseases are a mystery.
yeah, it's I have so my Mayo Clinic doctor's recommending somebody, so I have somebody at Northwestern that my doctors from Mayo recommended because Mayo is like, dude, you're fixed. Like, there's no reason we want you to drive up here for doctor's appointments and all this stuff unless it's emergency. So I mean, so far, I mean, Northwestern's been cool, but I think just because I had a foot in the door, because I've been trying to go Northwestern this whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
You were always
You know
trying.
what I mean? Always
And then
trying.
COVID was fucking everything up for everybody.
Everything. COVID, like, you know.
Dude,
So
you
it was
need
like me being mad at the same time, but I had to learn, like, dude, I get it, but come on, you know.
Yeah.
You need to write like a
Definitely.
tell-all book or something, Jeebus.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much more. Like, I have a notebook. I have notebooks all over because, like I said, I don't remember a lot, and things pop to me. One from that, and then again from being sober for 38 months now, I'm getting like all these. I'm dreaming again and remember my dreams. I'm like, dude, this is so weird. Sober living, what? Because now everything's real. Like,
Yeah.
I was so doped up before. Now it's like, oh man, I can't believe gas is $4. I'm like, what is going on in this world? What
My
happened
mom and I
4 years
were
ago?
just talking about that yesterday because she asked me what gas is here. It's $1 more by you guys, and you guys have the highest price in the country.
Oh, I
Of course we
believe it.
do.
I
Of course.
believe it,
That's
though.
never surprised me.
They're
Never
robbers.
surprised.
Welcome to Illinois. They want to fuck you up every which way they can.
They're robbers, seriously.
Moving over to Indiana. Bye, guys.
Moving to Indiana.
Oh,
Anywhere but
yeah, don't get sick in Illinois. Yeah, that's number one. Do not get sick in Illinois.
our number one
Best advice.
message. Yeah,
Don't live in Illinois and get sick. The
Yeah,
end.
run.
Or getting sick in a pandemic.
or
Yeah,
that.
Don't,
yeah.
don't do that
Don't do-
either.
yeah.
That's ill-advised,
Do not
if you will.
do that. What was I thinking? We
How
joke
dare
about that
you
all the time.
how dare you get sick during a lockdown? What were you thinking?
We joke about that all the time. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, idiots.
Oh
You
my
know
gosh.
what?
So funny.
Yeah.
It's funny now.
Yes.
I
Back
mean,
then
yeah,
it
no,
probably
'cause-
would want to make you cry.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, there was a few times where it was just like, I put my hand around my arm and it was like this. I'm like,
Jesus.
what is going on? I start bawling in the car or something like that. But then we say something stupid like that. Just so now all we do is laugh about it. Laugh about my scars, laugh about the ignorance, laugh about because I mean there was some good times too there too. So
There you go.
and I'm alive. That's
You
the
are
thing.
alive.
Died twice.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Coma. I mean, beat the odds.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just following the rules. I gotta, I can't drink. I can't hit my head anymore because,
Yeah.
head.
So you wear a helmet everywhere?
So that's how we started the story. So when I hit my head, so we all kept blaming it on my concussion and stuff like that. So another thing they said was, head gut thing is a thing. So I've had many concussions in my life of just doing shit. But like this last one which has made my speech like off and weird. To me, it's weird because I know it's weird. People say it's not weird, but I hear
It doesn't sound weird to me. It sounds normal.
I hear myself. Sometimes it feels like
It's like you don't feel like yourself or like you're not talking like yourself. It doesn't sound like you.
Yeah, exactly. And it feels like I'm thinking way too much. It's just
No, that's also our age too. Not to say that we're old, but I definitely know that I'll literally talk to my husband and I stop and he's like, Are you gonna finish? And I'm like, hold on, the word hasn't come to me yet. Just give me a minute.
No, I get it. I know that's another thing. I'm like 4 years has passed. I'm 37 for real. I'm like, shit.
Me too, my friend. Me too.
I know, right?
Me too.
know.
Crazy to think we used to ride the school bus together.
I know.
Crazy.
Shit.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
And on that note,
this is how to do when shit gets real, and we'll see you all next episode.
Bye.